Hello again. Profit maximization using a graph. Okay, sometimes you are given a graph and you are asked to calculate the profit, and you can just look at it. If you're really quick enough, you can just look at a graph, look at the price, look at the average total cost, look at the quantity, and you can work it out very quickly. But for some students, it's a little bit tricky, and that's why I'm here today. Let's look at the step-by-step approach to calculating profit from a graph. So first of all, we have to establish what we call the profit maximizing condition. And this is where the marginal cost equals the marginal revenue. Okay? For every production activity, there has to be some marginal cost, which is the additional cost that is incurred when you produce an additional unit of the product. And the marginal revenue, on the other hand, is the revenue or the sales that you make when you sell additional quantity of whatever you are making. So maybe you are making water, bottles of water for this example. Come with me and I will demonstrate to you how to calculate the profit from a graph. Okay? Let's remember, the first condition is to look for the marginal cost equals to marginal revenue on the graph. So here, the condition is marginal cost equals to marginal revenue. Remember this all the time. This is your starting point. Okay? This is very, very crucial. It's your starting point. So let's assume that we have this line as the revenue. Okay? Which is also for a perfect competition. By the way, this is for perfect competition, okay? This is for perfect competition. We will cover monopolistic competition in a different video. But for this particular one, the marginal revenue is a straight line, which is also the same as the average revenue, which is also the same as the demand curve. But that's also the same as the price, okay? It's also the same as the price. The marginal revenue for a perfect competitor is going to be the same as how much they charge for the price, and what is actually changing is the quantity. So let's leave it like that. You probably have covered this in your class already. Okay? So here is what you need to do next, or this is what probably would appear in the graph. You probably have a marginal cost curve. So this condition, marginal cost equals to marginal revenue, has been fulfilled here, right here. So let's assume that you have a corresponding quantity, and this quantity, for example purposes, is 10. Okay, so for this firm, the quantity is 10. Let's say the price is 5. Okay, and that price is the same as the marginal revenue, which is also the same as the average revenue, which is also the demand curve. What you need to look for next is the average total cost. Okay, this normally would be in the question, but I'm doing this step by step so you can see how things are broken down. So let's put the average total cost curve. So average total cost, ATC. And for example purposes, let's say there's a value here, and this is 2. So our average total cost is 2. Can we work out the price? Yes, quite easily. You can either just look at the graph and look at the triangle here and work it out mathematically. How do you do that? Well, look at the distance from 2 to 5. What is the difference between 5 and 2? It is 3. Write that down. What's the difference between 0 and 10? It's 10. Okay, write that down. With this, mathematically, length of this triangle times the width of the triangle will give you the profit. Quite straightforward. So that will be 3 times 10, and that will give you 30. But let's prove this from the formula that we know already. Okay, so that's an easy way, but it's not easy for everyone. So let's look at the step-by-step formula that we know. And this formula, profit equals P P, price, minus ATC times the quantity. So we have all the numbers here. If I ask you what the price, if I ask you what the price is, just look at the graph. The price is here. The price is 5. So put that 5 here and put your minus sign. Where is the ATC? Well, whenever you have your MC equals MR, you go all the way down to touch the ATC. You go all the way down to touch the ATC, and your ATC here is on the graph. So minus 2 times, where is your quantity? Quantity is right here. This is your quantity, 10. So times the 10, we can work it out. So 5 minus 2 is 3 times your quantity. This gives you 30. This is your profit. The same as what we did here. Okay? Remember I told you, for some people they can just look at a graph and they will know the answer. For some people, they would have to do the step-by-step approach. Whichever works for you, that's entirely fine. You will be able to derive your profit from a graph of this type. Remember, this graph is only for perfect competition. The graph for monopolistic competition, or in fact, imperfect competition, wouldn't be like this. The marginal revenue line is going to be downward sloping, and the demand curve is going to be downward sloping as well. But the principles are the same. All the best in your next exam. Thank you very much.